As promised in the previous video, we are starting a brand new project. This is a 1972 Dodge Challenger. Do not let the rear taillight panel confuse you. It does actually look like a 70. This is actually a project car that we purchased. It was already half finished to make to look like a 1970 Dodge Challenger, but it's actually a 1972. And we're going to go ahead and continue on that conversion and just finish off the front end to make it look like a 70. As you guys can see, there is really nothing left in this car. There's absolutely no parts in here whatsoever, except for a few things that we had spares from our previous 70 Challenger build. But overall, the car does look to be like it's in really good shape. The previous owner had this car sandblasted, acid dipped, and then sprayed with epoxy primer. And so any kind of rust or any kind of paint that was on this car prior was already stripped off and then subsequently sealed up. They did continue on and start to test different colors on this car, such as this red that's right here, as well as a little bit of green that's in here in the wheel wells. But we actually don't know what color we're going to go with as of right now. We have no engine, we have no transmission. Although the rear end is still in the car, it is not a very desirable rear end. So we definitely have some work cut out for us. The good news is that the rest of it is still here. The rear leaf springs are there, the hangers and shackles are all set up there. The front suspension is all here, the K-member, the torsion bars, the steering, even the brake system minus the calipers are all here. This car was a factory V8 car, so it had a V8 crossmember, and we had a set of these big block motor mounts, and we decided to test fit them just to make sure everything was all lined up, and it actually is. But it does not have any of the calipers, front and rear brake lines, master, booster, proportioning valve. There's nothing. There's absolutely nothing left on this car. So we got to figure out what we're going to do with that. Now that I've given you guys a basic walk around, let's go ahead and put this car up higher up on the lift so you guys can look underneath. Now that we have the car up in the air, we can take a better look at what has been done to this car. So as you can see, like the whole undercarriage has been completely stripped and it has been coated with epoxy primer. It actually looks really good. The whole front suspension, you guys can take a better look at the front end, and everything here has either been powder coated or painted, but because of the nature of things, the powder coat has chipped off in some places and things have been damaged. But the parts that still have the powder coat on them, they still look pretty good. It looks like they didn't clean off the threads very well after the powder coating, so we're going to have to address a few things, but overall everything looks really good. I'm pretty much happy with all of this. This car came with just some old rusted out tires and wheels, and they're just, this one's a rally wheel, I think it's a 14, the other one's just a random wheel, and then we've got two other random wheels on the back side. Moving on to the back side, you can see that this car is on the factory leaf springs, factory hangers, and everything is all original factory drum brakes without the drum, so it has a drum delete. And overall, if you just saw this part of the video, the car looks like it's in really good shape. Now that I'm a little bit more familiar with the car, we can go through the bad of this car. So I've shown you everything on the passenger side and it looks really good. If we move on to the driver's side, we run into things like this. So it looks like there's a very poor patch job here. It's very apparent that someone needs to go back to welding class. You can tell that this floor has been replaced but not properly repaired. There are some spot welds that are yet to be welded in, and this floor is just kind of floating there. On the back side here, you can see where these panels were lap welded, and that is also an issue. Hopefully none of my panels are out of whack. The inside of this quarter panel has been cut off. I think they were having alignment issues when they were switching over to the 70 quarter panels. And over here, it looks like there was a repair and they couldn't get the welder to light and they just ended up poking a bunch of holes. Here's the back side of that frame rail repair. Does not look good. If we continue on down the frame rail, you can see some damage there. You can see some damage on this side over here. We can see some damage, some nice damage right here. So that looks really good. And then up here in the front, this is smashed in right here. So some body work has already been done to this car, so it looks like they were aware that there was damage here and it translated to here, and there's probably a big old blob of Bondo or body filler right here, which I'm gonna have to strip down and figure out what's going on with that. Despite everything, I still feel I got this car for a really good deal. What I don't know is what I'm going to actually do moving forward, and there's just a lot of options. We can do hemi swap, big block swap, I don't know, Japanese motor swap, Barra swap. I'd like to hear what you guys think of what I should do with this car. As of right now, I just wanted to check it out and figure out what was going on before I dive too deep and get too invested in it. Obviously, there's some much needed repairs that need to be done, so those are going to be top priority when I'm putting everything together. But aside from that, let me know what you guys think. I will see you guys all in the next one. Night Wrencher signing out.